All right, so welcome to session 9 of the teacher training track. We're going through section 7, which is a little bit of a placeholder. It's more of an opportunity for all of the students to come together and show off what their plans are for re-teaching, because this is the teacher training track. So y'all are hopefully going to be prepared to go out and then be teachers of this type of material later. We're using either this content on web3.courses or your own content that you've been creating throughout this throughout the track so far. So pretty much the goal here is just you're going to have like 5 to 10 minutes to tell everyone what is your action plan, just a couple of ideas that you've come up with for how you're going to implement your version of, a Web3 training workshop or a course or a class, or if you're just going to do maybe like a breakout session at a hackathon or something like that. There are a couple of different ideas that I listed here. And then also, BAF is really interested in helping you accomplish and follow through with all of this. So if you are able to say like, okay, here's my plan, and here's a couple dates when BAF can check in, and we'll give you any support you need, and we just really want to see how it goes for you and help you in any way that we can. So with that being said, so long as everybody's gotten the attendance link, there it is one more time, I'm going to turn it over to whoever is willing to go first. Do we have any volunteers, or I'll pick someone?
I can go first.
All right, Tariq. 5 to 10 minutes, the floor is yours, and feel free to present too if you want.
No, I appreciate it. Let me just start presenting my thing. Okay, let me know if I can start from the screen.
Yep, I can see your screen.
Alright, so the plan for after this course is I'm just going to take all like the micro presentations that I've prepared and I've done, and I'm going to make like each one like have their own session. And when I say like session, I mean like maybe a class or an interactive workshop, because I could have put all the micro presentations into like one day, but I feel like each topic that I did goes much deeper than just one line. So I'm going to make like maybe have like a 3-day period or a 5-day period spread out like every week, where the format would be first a presentation, and then next an experience, and I'll go on to explain that, and then at the end an interactive portion. So the experience is after you've done like a presentation on like what it is and some like the inner workings and how it works, I want either myself or whoever is there helping me to give their experience with that concept, whether it's like Metamask, for example, give their experience with using Metamask, how it's evolved over the years and where it's headed, and also give like first-person perspective for the people who are there who don't know what Metamask is and like really don't know how to use it. And then we'll go into like an interactive portion, because I think without telling them like our experience, like how can they really trust us when we do like the interactive portion and like kind of grow with their mistakes? So that's the format. And the examples I gave was basically what I did for micro presentations was like ERC 20, 21. Metamask was the example I gave. Like I said, give a specific example on it, but can you also do a Solidity? So for action steps, I will probably just first start with my community. So that would be my club at Georgia State. I would run with them which topics. I would present them like what I did micro presentations on, and just see which topic they actually want to concentrate on. And we'll pick like maybe a couple from that list. And then we'll create like marketing materials, a plan for how to like market it out, and then think of the curriculum. Same old stuff. Just you need to have some like something to plan around. So, and then I'll run through like the interactive portions on my own or with the help of somebody else, so I know what I'm doing when I show them. As far as like back involvement goes, uh, when it's like when I have a concrete curriculum, I'm not just gonna like pitch you like I said a bone, like with nothing on it. Like I'm not gonna ask for help if I don't have anything to need help on. So I'm gonna at least get some meat on the bone of what I'm doing, and then how maybe speakers, if we get around like to the experience, if we want to go beyond just my experience or whoever's helping me teach, we can bring someone in to see like what their experience is with it, and then maybe cross marketing, pretty generic, and then like when, like specifically, hoping to get this rolled out for the fall semester, which is for me, it's I think it's the end of August, so hopefully getting something planned around then. I don't know if that was like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but that's pretty much all I have, Jacob.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Um, that looks great. That looks like that has all the components that we're looking for here. You had your action plan. You have your community that you're trying to market it to. Yeah, and how BAF can get involved. So I'm gonna make sure to go through all this and make some notes so that I'll make sure to follow up with you guys. Really looking forward to seeing how this takes off and spreads to other communities and universities all over. So, all right, that's that. Perfect. Okay, anyone want to go next?
Yeah, sure, I'll go next.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lincoln. Take it away.
Yeah, so my action plan now is that this fall, when I'll be in charge of the Vanderbilt Blockchain Club, I'm going to do a little 101 first on just like what is blockchain as a basic overview, and then go into like what are smart contracts and how can we develop them. So I'm planning on going to do those for like, I guess most of the fall semester, and just do a little bit of knowledge every single week, like half an hour Zoom call or whatever, and just talk about like different functions in Solidity, what the different like payable view returns, whatever all those different things mean, and sort of give everyone a brief overview into Solidity development. And then near the end of the semester, I want to take the people who are already experienced in Solidity and match them with people who aren't experienced with Solidity, and then hold some kind of hackathon or join a hackathon in which we can compete and collaborate with one another and and have the mentors, the people who know a lot about Solidity, to help those who don't. And as far as getting BAF involved in it, I'm hoping that after I get the first couple of classes like written out and complete, I can go to BAF for some clarification or any tips about revisions to the classes or ways to get more people engaged, or even have some guest speakers on if possible.
All right, sounds great. Yeah, BAF is definitely willing to like contribute speakers. We have lots of different people who I'm sure would be interested in presenting at different university clubs and stuff. So that sounds great. Yeah, Lincoln, you've already made a lot of progress on your project, so I think there's going to be no shortage of Solidity experts at your particular workshops. So I think you're set up for success already.
Hopefully.
Sounds good. Perfect. All right. Cool. So if that's all from you, Lincoln, was there anything else?
Nope.
All right. Cool. All right, then Hector or Russell, either of you want to go next?
I can go.
All right, perfect. Take it away.
Well, so essentially right now I'm actually teaching like introduction to Solidity for Ethereum course right now. It's like just open to the New York City blockchain community, and part of the reason I wanted to take this course with you guys was to further develop my skills and learn more, because right now I have a bunch of different resources coming in and I'm just like drinking from a fire hose. I want to further build on my foundation and see what other things you guys could teach me. as I go forward. And as the course begins to evolve over time, since this is the first iteration of this 5-part series that I'm teaching, I'm hoping to make it more complex, because right now it's just the very basics. So essentially, like, it's being taught primarily in Remix. So what is like the syntax? It's the very basic of Solidity, all the way up to I'm hoping to end this series with just constructing a very basic ERC20 token, and then just leaving it at that. And then as this course evolves over time, as my knowledge grows in tandem, to make it more complex and introduce things like your resurgency attack that you showed at one point, and then hopefully integrate BAF and bring speakers in, and you guys can share and impart your wisdom onto the rest of the community.
Sounds great. Yeah, so something that I definitely like to see is that integration of communities. Did you say you're in the New York City area, Hector?
Yes. We have a meetup called Blockchain New York City, and there's a Slack as well where a lot of people are joining and getting access to these.
I think there are a couple of people from that community or meetup group in this class. Is that I think that sounds familiar. So that's very cool. Anyways, if we have all these communities and can connect them together, get speakers from, Blockchain NYC over to Vanderbilt, over to any other universities that have blockchain clubs. Definitely everyone keep in touch. I think we'll try and keep the Discord channel open so that you guys can all have that space to chat and interact with each other. But yeah, also definitely talk with and integrate with other communities all around. All right. Very cool. Sounds great, Hector. Thank you so much. Perfect. All right, Russell, did you have something you'd like to share?
Yeah. So actually, I was supposed to work with Noor, but like for our university blockchain club, but yeah, it seems she has been busy lately, so like she haven't been here in the lecture. But I mean, if we find time to catch up with the lecture, I think we would do the like the Radical Exchange app I told you last time, like because we are like a university blockchain club that also like include the Radical Exchange chapter, which Vitalik is involved a lot with Gitcoin quadratic funding scheme, which is part of the Radical Exchange movement. So so we will potentially do like a smart contract application of like a quadratic funding scheme, and like also include maybe quadratic voting and a cost monopoly game, which is also part of the mechanism of the movement. So yeah, so it's like when you play a monopoly game, like a game that's similar to the monopoly game, but you keep track of all the chips through the smart contract. So yeah, so I'll see if I can find time with Nora to do that for together. So because she's the president of the blockchain club, and yeah, so if we can pull that off, that would be a great thing. And yeah, and potentially I think so Camera also knows Radical Exchange, and if we do that, potentially we can also get people from Radical Exchange to help us as well as the BAF network. Yeah, but let's see if we can pull that off. It's like it will take like some amount of time, I guess. Yeah, thank you.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I've chatted with Nora a little bit over the Discord, and looks like some good things are happening over there. I'm really glad that you're able to have two people from the same organization join the Web3 TTT. Hopefully that the experience will be beneficial to your endeavors and your pursuits this coming fall. So yeah, definitely let us know when you organize something, and if we can help in any way. So we'd really like to follow up with that and see how everything is going. All right, so we have lower attendance today than usual. I think maybe my email scared people away. So
Wait, did you send an email to us?
yesterday. Did that not make it to you? Was I using an old list of regardless, as far as today goes, everything you needed to know was on section 7 on the website. So if I maybe send me your email in Discord or something like that. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the attendance, but I can send you. Let's see, but I'm not sure if I.
Oh yeah, I can. I'll find it in the attendance. Actually, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Cool. I probably was just using the list of emails from before you joined this cohort. So
all right.
Sorry about that.
Thanks.
Yep, I'll forward it to you. Don't worry. All right, perfect. All right. But this only puts us 19 minutes into the hour. So, if you want, I guess that's technically all we had scheduled today. But otherwise, we can turn this into a help session, or as I was doing a little bit of research of my own for developing the certificates that we are going to distribute as NFTs at the end of this course. We could maybe talk a little bit about what I've been looking at too. Right now, it's a lot of planning stages still, but it should be okay. I've been mostly working on the contract for now. It's not released yet, but working on it. So, what do people think? Do you guys want to end early? Get back to your evening? Do you want to turn this into like a help session or a random Q&A? Or we could maybe explore the development of an NFT a little bit more in depth. Up to you.
I'm interested in hearing about how the process you want to like developing the NFT.
Okay.
I just want to see like what you found out so far.
Yeah,
'Cause I think
perfect.
it's cool, like certificates. That's pretty cool.
Right. So I'm also writing. So I'm writing the contract and the front end for. They're very simple like ERC 721 certificates, but with one unique feature, in that instead of just representing a arbitrary non-fungible asset, they represent a certification of an academic achievement. So that makes it a little bit. Oh, Hector, are you not on the Discord? It's part of the BAF Discord. Are you on the BAF Discord?
Oh, I'm in the. I didn't realize it was part of the BAF Discord. Yes, I'm on that.
Okay. Are you able to see the Web3 TTT channel under the education
Yes,
category?
I see that. So so BitDev is part of that channel.
Oh, I thought you were asking me the question.
No, Tariq, I think, said there's a BitDev. What's it say?
The NYC. That's
Yeah.
just a meetup group in NYC.
Oh, okay, just a meetup. Got it. Okay, I wasn't sure if there was a Discord.
I didn't send you the website though.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So,
I do have 2 questions, Jacob.
sure, yeah.
Just because I didn't get your email either, but I'm in the middle of Q2 at my job right now, doing all the analytics and financial reporting and stuff. So I haven't had that much time to sit down and code the final project. What's the due date for the project?
Right. So I think we set demo day to be sessions 11 and 12. So those are the last 2 sessions of the last week. So that's the 26th and the 28th of July.
Got it. Okay. And do we need to code a front end? Like, I know you did one class where it was like we had it, like Java, Node, and JS running, and you had like a front end that responded, interacted with the contract and stuff.
Yeah, if you don't have time to write the front end, that's fine. I think the focus is definitely going to be on smart contracts and slightly less so on the web app side of things. Again, this is not supposed to be just your run-of-the-mill app development course. We're trying to focus. It's less so on, hey, look, I've built a complete dApp, and more on, I can explain what I have done to other people.
Got it. Okay, because I'm not as familiar with the front end portion of it. I can write the smart contract portion though. So I just want, and the time constraints, I didn't want to list all pieces.
Yeah, perfect. So I would say focus more on being able to explain everything that you've done thoroughly, and if that means that you're not able to write a front end before demo day, don't worry about it too much. It's more a matter of, what you want to do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Right. Perfect. Awesome. All right. So, were there any other questions? Anything else? Hector and Russell, I will grab your emails from the the attendance thing for today and forward you that email again. So, I'll get that to you guys. Were there any other questions? Otherwise, I can talk a little bit about what I've been doing. It'll be rather unstructured, and technically, I have never launched a token of my own on mainnet before, so this will be a first for me as well. So, kind of fun. We'll get to explore all this stuff together. But, right, if there's no other questions, we can jump into that. So, here is my editor. Oh, I will also share my screen. Alright. Share this screen. Alright. Hopefully you can see. We'll just talk a little bit about what I've been doing here. So, actually, technically, most of what I've been doing so far has just been research, because I would rather like to know what I'm doing before I start coding than kind of start coding and do things wrong and then have to start over. So all of this is pretty much sample code that doesn't have much going on here. In fact, the contract that I've been playing with isn't even in here yet. I think it's actually in Remix yet, so I suppose I can pull that up. So let's see here. Since it's pretty much let's see, this guy. There we go. All right, so it's going to be a very run-of-the-mill ERC20 token. Or, not 20, ERC 721. What am I saying? Non-fungible token. So, I decided to go with the Open Zeppelin contract library that they so helpfully provide. And, essentially, we're going to have, so far I've imported these 3 different contracts from Open Zeppelin. Obviously ERC 721, because we want it to be a ERC 721 token here. Access control. This is so that not only the contract owner, because there's like the only owner modifier. Access control gives you a little more fine-grained control so that you can have more than one account that has a certain level of access. So it's not just the single address is the owner, right? But you could have like multiple addresses that you say, okay, they have this role or that role. Right. And so this is actually a lot of this is also sample code that's pretty much copy and pasted from the Open Zeppelin samples. Let's see here. And obviously the reason that I'm doing this instead of writing it all out myself is, one, save myself a lot of time and energy, and also this is a well-vetted library, well-vetted contract, so why reinvent the wheel? So that's my logic there. Use the libraries because they're available. But the special feature that I want to implement on these Web3 T3 certificate tokens is, well, as we mentioned when we were first talking about NFTs, I think it's in here somewhere. Is it this one? Issues with ERC 721, general inefficiency, right? Where whenever you want to send an ERC 721, it takes a whole entire transaction, and like mass distributions of ERC 721s can get really expensive. So what is a way, because, you know, part of the plan with the Web3 T3 is to make, you know, this is ideally not going to be the only cohort of Web3 T3, but we're also going to have hopefully future ones more in the future, which means that if I have to keep distributing more and more ERC 721 tokens, that can get expensive when it comes to gas prices, right? If it's going to cost me literally a few cents or even more in gas to send out one NFT, and we're sending out hundreds of these NFTs, that can get really expensive. So the way that, or the solution that I have come up with for this is, instead of having all of the tokens be distributed by one central account that has to pay for all of the gas fees, I'm going to instead make it so that the NFT certificates will be claimable. So, but of course we can't just have anyone claiming the certificates. So we have to have a way to say, okay, this account is allowing another account to claim a specific certificate, a specific NFT. And that's where these two functions that I've been experimenting with come in. Now, these are not done yet. I'm still working on them, testing them a little bit. But essentially, one of the interesting features that Web3 API, or that Metamask, I guess, allows you is, let's see here, there's sign, yeah, is you can, that is, I did not want a sign that's talking about different alcohols. Let's see here. I think this will probably get me what I want. So let's see. Ethers provides, and Web3.js also provides this, a way to sign a message. So I think this is the, yeah. So we just want to sign a message. We don't necessarily want to sign a transaction. We want it to sign a message. And what this does is it Metamask will use the signer's private key to sign a message. It will generate a signature. And then what we can do with this signature is, well, here's the workflow that I've come up with. I will be, me, Jacob, or someone else at Bath will be in control of an account that this contract has given, I don't know, the default admin role or some role, a, you know, like distributor role or something like that. And then what I will do is I will use MetaMask to sign a whole bunch of messages. And these messages, part of these messages will be a token ID. So I will generate a signed message for a particular NFT token ID that has not yet been claimed. What I can then do is send that signature along with the token ID that it's for. I can send that to one of the participants of Web3 TTT. You'll get, I don't know what I'll call it, maybe like a certificate unlock token or something like that. It's not like a crypto token, it's more like a JWT type of token in that it provides a form of authentication. And then what you'll be able to do is call, I suppose I haven't written the function yet, but call a redeem token or claim token or unlock token function on this contract. You'll give it the token ID that you wish to claim, the signature that I have given to you, and I suppose I'll also have to tell you which account, probably, maybe, which account gave you, that signature. And what that will allow you to do is, I'll use this signature checker, which is also very helpfully from OpenZeppelin. Check that it is a valid signature, that the account, I also have to check the permissions somewhere in here, that it's an account like my account or some BAF account that has whatever distributor role. I'll have and check that that token ID matches that signature. I'll also have to check that that token has not already been claimed, so that each of these claim tokens can only be claimed once. And then you will be able to unlock that token, and it will be transferred to your account. So that's kind of the workflow there. Does that make sense to everybody, how that works? I think the kind of the unique thing about this workflow is that the signature, or this signature piece right here, is going to be something that occurs, is generated, and is communicated completely off-chain. So that will reduce gas fees. That makes sense so far?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So then, let's get into a little more about the metadata surrounding the NFTs. So you'll see right here, this base URI, this is not going to be, this is just a placeholder URI that I typed in here. This is not going to be where you actually find your tokens. They will actually be on IPFS. So if I look at this guy right here, I was experimenting with writing NFT metadata, and let's see, there was a link that I sent someone earlier today that had a really good overview of the metadata. Here it is. So the NFT metadata standard, and if we look here, this is just like some samples that I came up with. None of this is set in stone yet, still experimenting. But you can see here, I think this one is optional. Actually, external URL, I don't think that one is actually, I think that one might just be like an extra addition that OpenSea came up with. But description, image, and name, those are all kind of self-explanatory. This is the link to an image, description of the NFT, the name of the NFT. And you'll notice that this is not stored on Ethereum anywhere. It's not on chain, it's in IPFS. And that's just to make it so that all of this data here doesn't have to be taking up space on chain. So that makes it a little bit cheaper in gas because you're not using up so much storage to store all that extra metadata. And then we have a lot of freedom in the attributes section here. We'll say, okay, we'll label this, the cohort that this NFT was awarded for was number 1. It was issued at whatever this timestamp is, and the distinction was participant or something like that. So still a work in progress, but this is how you add extra information about an NFT. And then if you really think about it, what really is owning an NFT? It is simply owning, it's possessing an account that a contract somewhere says, okay, you own this thing, and this thing has a hash attached to it that points at a IPFS, node, or what do you call it, node, file somewhere, and that file contains a bunch of metadata about the NFT, and that metadata will probably contain a link to an image somewhere, might also be on IPFS, possibly, And if for example you bought some NFT art, that's what you actually own, right? You own this metadata that gives you a link to an image that is yet again hosted elsewhere. So there's a lot of pointing, to different links and stuff all over the place here. Makes it kind of interesting and fun to work with. Right, so that's, I guess that's my project overview. Y'all have given your project overviews. That one is mine. I'm going to try and have that ready by the last session when we distribute the certificates, because if it's not ready, well. Right, so that's my deadline. And another thing you'll notice here is that I decided to actually go with hard hat. I was like, I've used truffle before, let's try something new. So I went with hard hat, because I've not used hard hat before. So this is new and fun and exciting for me as well. Alright, so that's pretty much it for that presentation there. Now we're about 40 minutes in. You can find something else to fill the last 20 minutes, or if anyone has like questions, whatnot, you can answer those. But otherwise, that's pretty much what I've been working on too. So hopefully that was enjoyable, informative, maybe enlightening. Y'all are gonna figure out some new exploit to hack the redemption system for my contract that I'm writing. That would be kind of funny.
So for that signature thing, when you have those different roles, like you have the mentor and the default admin role, what's the difference between the two? Like, what can the admin do that the mentor can't, and vice versa?
It's totally up to you, actually, the way that these Open Zeppelin roles work. I'll start presenting again. I think the default admin role is the only one that's actually set up for you. And the way that these roles work is, I think that so the default admin role is like its own administrator, I think, which means that you it's like the top level and it can administer itself essentially. But every other role, I think you can set like a role that's higher than it. If we look at the Open Zeppelin documentation for access control, well, that is not helpful. Let's see here. So we don't want ownable, we want access control. So, right, this is how you generate roles. You just get their hash. You hash something. I think it just needs to be a unique bytes 32 identifier. Has role, grant role, revoke role. Get role admin. This is the one. Is that? So it returns the administrator role that controls role. So you grant role and revoke role. To change roles administrator, use _ set role admin. Other than the get role admin feature, I think it's pretty much essentially you're just labeling different addresses. You're just adding a label to them effectively, and then it's completely up to you to actually implement the permissions or the actual access control part. Other than that, I think it's pretty much you're just labeling addresses. Like, this address is labeled with the minter role, but it doesn't actually do anything unless you make it do something.
Okay, cool. So if you wanted to have like a smart contract where there's an owner, but there's also somebody who could access the funds inside of it, you could have like a access role. Okay, that makes sense.
So you'll see like right here, this modifier is basically the only owner modifier, except it's saying only role, and so it'll allow not just the single sole owner, but anyone who has the minter role, right? So it's just a little bit, right. Okay. Yeah. So. So that's how that works. Yeah. So that's all that's going on there. And I'm trying to make this contract very simple and pretty much by the book, because this stuff that I'm adding down here is very much not, and I don't want to have work with so much stuff that's outside of how ERC 721s usually work that I mess something up. Because as much as I would like to trust my own programming, I think it's safer to, keep it simple. So I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah. So that's that. Oh, I had been playing around with Metamask signing messages. I don't remember where I was doing that though. If I set up some sort of playground, I don't think I have it set up right now anymore though. That would have been cool to demonstrate how to sign messages using Metamask. I wonder if you can just instigate it, if there's a control here where you can type in your own message and have it sign it. That might be kind of interesting. Alright, well regardless, that's what I've been playing with. And hopefully this strategy for distributing like redemption coupons or redemption tokens off-chain will work. I think that's going to be kind of cool. And also that way you won't all have to send me your Ethereum addresses, and then I'll be like, oh my goodness, wait, was this Ethereum address that this person's or that person's, or mix something up and mistype it, or copy and paste error or something like that. And just, yeah. So this way I think it's a lot more secure, hopefully. But yeah. Alright, anything else?
I'm wondering, so we still have like 3 sessions left?
Yeah.
So what's the plan for the next 3 sessions?
Right, so the next session, Wednesday, is a help session. So anyone who has issues stuck with writing the contract, writing the front-end interface, anything in between, you just have questions, if you just want to shoot the breeze, come to that. That's Wednesday. And then demo day is the Monday after that. And the latter part of demo day, continued if necessary, closing ceremony and issuing certificates is going to be that Wednesday. So, yep.
Alright, thanks.
Yep, absolutely. And with that, I suppose we can probably end about 15 minutes early. We had a rather small attendance today, but that is okay. Perfect. Alright, well, that is all I have for you today. Yep,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys,
Thank
for coming. Yep, see ya.